the last time you were on the show with me, I was doing the afternoon programme, and you told me the last thing you said to me before we left off air, you said, by the way, you'll need to change the batteries in your remote control.
Yeah.
And I went home, and this is true fact. I took a video of it at the time. The Sky remote was dead.
There you go.
So
See,
there you go.
I know these things.
I remember thinking, geez, that's freaking on. I was like, what a thing to say. And I went home, and it's true. The Sky remote was actually dead that day, which was weird. So how are you?
I'm great, thanks. Yeah, you've got a speeding ticket coming up. Do you know that?
I hope not. I'll tell you that now. I've done a bit of travelling recently, so maybe. I hope you haven't got a speeding ticket, because you've got a mental tour going on. You're up and down the country like a yo-yo.
Yeah. It's the tour kicks off December 28th in Castlebar, and then we come down this direction January 1st in the INEC. Brand new show from start to finish, and I'm really excited because this show is quite topical, I think, at this moment in time, because I've examined all of the different areas that we're currently being deceived, right the way through to obviously online social media, but even how we deceive ourselves sometimes. And the worst form of deception is actually self-deception. And then I examined cults, brainwashing, all these different areas. So it's very topical, and even to the extent like I examined Jim Jones and the Jonestown massacre. So he was a cult leader way back when in the 80s, and he got all of his followers to drink the Kool-Aid and of course poison them all and kill them. So the opening routine in Deception involves me doing an acid roulette with one of the audience members. That was inspired by the Jonestown massacre, and then every night I gamble like 10,000 euros with audience members to see if they can deceive me. And yes, I've lost money on stage before. This is the most amount of money I've ever put up on stage. So there's a chance somebody could win it some night, maybe down here in the INEC, January 1st, I don't know. And then in the second half then, again, I go back to kind of brainwashing and things like that, and I delve into people's minds and figure out their innermost secrets and stuff like that. And then the end of the show is a really bizarre experiment where I take control of an audience member's mind and body. So I become like a puppeteer, and they become like my puppet, and then the end is a very strange, bizarre ending. So I'm excited about it, you know.
What struck me with what you just mentioned there is obviously you have to put a lot of work into these and a lot of research. What kind of creepy things were you doing and reading and researching? And like, I mean, you just mentioned the massacre there. I mean, that famous massacre. Man, what gets into your brain? Says, I'm going to read up on that now.
Yeah, I just
mad stuff.
So I come up with the title of the show first, Deception. Then I started to think about where deception exists in our world, and then I visited Doc Shields. So Doc Shields lives down this direction, actually, and he took the most famous photograph that was ever taken of the Loch Ness Monster. He also is from Cornwall, which is where crop circles originated from. So Doc is kind of the original deception artist, if you like. So I rang him for some advice. Then I rewatched some movies that I thought were kind of deceptive movies. So I rewatched Inception and those kind of movies, and then investigated conspiracy theories. I basically go on to like Google, and I get like 30 books on deception, conspiracy theories, cults, the occult, brainwashing, all that kind of stuff. And then I flew a friend of mine in, Andrew Gerard, so he's a fellow magician and hypnotist. So I kind of come up with all the material, but he helped me glue it together script-wise. And then we just get all the props made, so they're being made in Carlow as we speak. And then we just hit the road and see what happens. And thankfully, in touch wood, every year, people seem to enjoy the shows, you know. So
this is the thing that actually I was going to ask you about then. So your first show is the 28th, right? So have you had a test audience, or have you?
No, the comedians think I'm mad. So if you know, like any of the top comedians, like Mario Rosenstock or even Tommy Tiernan, I've spoken with them about this. So they often go into small comedy clubs, kind of unannounced, and they test their material before they hit the road. But my material is only tested in my office, in my house. And then we get together and we rehearse the material. But rehearsals consist of me, my assistant Jose, my tour manager Joe, just the three of us in a room, getting the props ready, making sure everything kind of works. But from an audience standpoint, the first time I'll get to see the audience reaction is December 28th. You know, I also, like, I'm doing a documentary over in the States at the moment. We're in pre-production, and it's basically me traveling the world, finding real magic in the world, or attempting to find real magic in the world. So I came across this blind Russian lady who apparently can see through her fingertips. So the whole idea is that she's actually genuinely 100% clinically blind, and her claim is that she can see through her fingertips. So I'm going to meet her in March next year, actually, and the whole question that I have is she deceiving us, or can she actually see through her fingertips? But the point of that is, based on researching her, I decided to put a second sight act into deception. So the whole idea is that audience members get to come up and blindfold me any way they want. So some nights I know that people will stick coins in my eyes, so I'll have all these props there, coins and putty and gaffer tape, so they can wrap my head in gaffer tape. They examine my ears, of course, make sure there's no earpieces. So I eliminate all of the methods that people could possibly think about, and then I do a demonstration of seeing through my fingertips.
Now, is this similar to when you drove the car blindfolded to the second sight? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
That was during your TV show, wasn't it? And you drove the car and you were completely blindfolded. And
yeah, to be somewhat similar to that.
Okay,
so that was going back to, would you believe that was 2006?
Jeez, was it that long ago?
That was my extraordinary TV special on CBS, and that was with Nicole Scherzinger.
Yes,
now I did before that with Catherine Thomas here in Ireland too. So yeah, it'd be similar to that. But again, I get to do all kinds of weird stuff with the audience. So, for example, a random audience member will go out and gather the most unusual objects that they can find from the gathered audience.
Okay.
And they bring those up and hold them over my head. And remember, I've been examined to make sure there's no electronic devices, no earpieces. And then I'm blindfolded, like as best as an audience member can blindfold me. And then I've got to try and figure out what these objects are that they're holding over my head. And of course, for the gathered audience in the INEC, we've got like cameras on this, big screens and all that kind of stuff, so everybody will be able to see even in the back row.
I was just going to say, yeah, so no matter where you're sitting, you will be able to see this.
Yeah.
Right, so Keith will tell us more about deception, and he's going to do a bit of deception with me, I think, or do a bit of messing with my mind.
Into that brain of yours, Andrew.
The little brain, yeah. So we'll take a break. We got more from Keith Barry next. Barry is my special guest in studio this morning. His new show Deception is out, starts on the 28th of December. He's here in Kerry in the INEC in Killarney on the 1st of January, and tickets are on sale now. So right, you came into me and you were messing with me already before we came on here a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
right?
so here's the I was messing around with you already, but here's the interesting thing. I want you to think of something that perhaps you haven't thought about in a while. Your very first pet. Okay?
Very first pet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you didn't tell me off air the name of the pet or anybody else, did you?
No, and we've got cameras here to back that up.
Okay, so here's the idea. I want you to look at me and focus on this pet, okay? Now, look, there's millions of different names that people could have called their first pets, so this is actually really difficult, what I'm about to do, and it may not work. So all I ask is that you're honest either way, right? So look at me, focus on this pet. If I could tell you two things about that pet, would that impress you?
Yes.
Okay, one, that pet is no longer alive. Is that correct?
Yes.
In fact, you killed it, didn't you? You were partially responsible for its death, and its name starts with a B. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, I thought so. Don't say anything more out loud. And in your mind, imagine that you're calling the dog. It's a dog, is it?
Yes.
Yes, imagine that you're calling the dog, and imagine it. Don't say it. Just imagine that you're calling the dog. So, whatever its name is. Actually, it wasn't fully trained either. It used to have the odd accent indoors. Isn't that correct?
It did,
yes. Yeah. Okay, look at me. Focus on the dogs. So look at me. I just because I can hear you saying after the B there's a vowel, obviously, but it's an A after the B. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm just going to make a note of something here, and I'll show it to the camera first. I'll show it to the camera so people can check this out online. So I'm showing to the camera now before I say it to Andrew. Andrew, just be honest. All you have to do is be honest. Was your first pet Bailey?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. Bailey the dog.
And that's amazing because, interestingly, I now have a dog that is also called Bailey.
There you go.
Yeah,
see?
So, well, that's pretty impressive.
Bailey and Bailey. Two Baileys.
Just for the cameras, we didn't actually genuinely say that off air.
No.
So, yeah.
But here's the interesting thing. So
you've done this before. You've guessed PIN numbers and everything else before.
Yeah.
It is freaky. Like, I mean, okay, you and I, we met before, and I know you do this quite often. Like, but people must get freaked out. I mean, they must look at you and kind of go, here, what's the story, man? How do you know this?
Yeah, but interesting enough, so with the live show, with Deception, you know, I don't do too much of this brain hacking. It's more, as I said, delving into the areas of deception and doing really bizarre things live. But on New Year's Eve, I now have a magic special. So on RT1, 10:30 till 11:45, I'll be doing close-up magic. So no brain hacking again. I'll be going back to my roots and performing cool and weird and wacky magic tricks with a whole host of celebrity guests. So that's going to be fun. And so I love the brain hacking as well. And you were thinking of something else there as well, but I couldn't possibly reveal that at this hour.
No, I think we might have to leave that one. Good morning to Breda and all the gang in the Dingle Skellig Hotel. They were on to me last night just to say good morning to you.
Oh yes, well interesting enough, I spent a lot of time down in the Skellig Hotel. Best breakfast for my money's worth around the country, but more importantly, they helped me. Plug. But here's the thing, they helped me. Yeah, I want the presidential suite next time. But here's the thing, they actually helped me come up with the name of the show. This is true. I was down there during the summer, and I asked the girls at reception, I said, listen, here's a couple of different names for the live show that I'm thinking about. Which one do you think is best? And they collectively decided Deception, and I said, that's the name of the show. So it kind of all concreted itself down in the Skellig Hotel, weirdly enough.
So you're coming to Kerry on the 1st of January, and it's the show's name originated in Kerry, which I think is a nice,
that's
way.
true, yeah.
Nice way to kickstart the new year as well, a bit of crack in the INEC on the 1st.
That's it, yeah. I'll be gentle with people with hangovers, and if you don't have a hangover, it'll be a great show anyway. Look, the show's designed to be laugh a minute funny. That's important for people to realise.
That's the big thing, yeah.
So you're going to be bawling your head off in a good way, laughing, at all the different demonstrations that are happening, and hopefully then be really amazed as well. That's the aim of the show,
Excellent. Well, listen, tickets are on sale now. You can get them at the INEC's box office or on their website as well. Good luck with the tour, and safe driving today. I know you've got a fair bit of travelling ahead of you again, so good luck with everything. Thanks for coming to see us, and thanks for freaking us all out again.
Yeah, thanks. You'll be great on stage, by the way, January 1st. You know you're going to be there? I've already hypnotised you to show up.
I've just bought 2 tickets online. It's 5 to 8 now.